Welcome to Meet Me Halfway. I'm Jordan Griffith. He is Austin McNorton. That's the best way to open up the show.
I mean, it's how you got to start it every single time now, just like that.
Exactly.
You can't change it up. It's got to be that way forever.
Exactly. Say hello to people. Today,
What's up, people?
we're gonna have a great show. We're talking about baseball. It is a nothing but baseball show for you guys. We really felt bad that we kind of abandoned you guys to play 2K last time. So we're going to have a full-length show today. We're going to kind of expand on what we were talking about just last Thursday. We're going to have fact or fiction for you. You're going to have a good Twitter poll question. It's going to be a great show. So
I mean, the second half of the MLB season has started, and from everything I've seen, the Royals are winning the World Series because, I mean, Bubba Starling's the greatest player of all time.
Right. I mean, that there's no other way to look at it other than that one. They're only 30 games back.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, just won like our first series in like 2 months, so there you go.
Exactly. But just like you were saying, the second half has officially started. I mean, it's more than the second. We're already past the second half. All-Star break is closer to 60% of the season rather than the second half. But we'll just say we're in the second half of the season. So we're gonna take a look back at the first half, who surprised us. We're going to go with our preseason, kind of recap of preseason, who was the first half MVP, Cy Youngs, all those awards. Who we think is going to win it in the second half and win it for the entire year. So we're going to start off with the most amazing news, the best sports memory of the year. Tyler Skaggs unfortunately passed away. I don't exactly remember the exact reasons as to how that happened, but about a week ago, Tyler Skaggs, pitcher for the Los Angeles Angels or Anaheim Angels, passed away. And then the game that they decided to commemorate him, all wearing number 45s on their jersey for the Angels. His mom throwing out the first pitch, being just an absolute strike right down the middle. And then they go out there and they throw a combined no-hitter against the Seattle Mariners. Absolutely amazing. That's stuff you cannot make up. That is that's the coolest thing you've ever heard.
Oh yeah, I mean that takes me back to when that guy in Miami died, and then G. Gordon hit that home run. It reminds me of this, like, something's bigger out there. I mean, it's just like you can't make that stuff up. I mean, his mom throws out the first pitch, and then they don't give up another hit, and then they hit 13 home run, or they score 13 runs, and it's just pretty incredible.
All lay in their jersey, their Skaggs jerseys across the mound after the game. So truly great moment. Probably going to be the greatest sports memory we'll have for a very long time. So,
yeah.
All right, Austin, we're going to hand out some midseason awards. I got some trophies here. I have this thermometer.
Whoa! Yeah, now that's fancy.
It is fancy. It doesn't work, I don't think.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, that's what they're used for. They're de coeur, as the French would say. So these are going to be our midseason awards. We're going to hand out a bunch of these. So I hope you're ready for it. All right.
So wait, you have like 10 of those sitting by you, or just going to pull the same one out every time?
I just have one. That's the only one I got. I mean, do you really need more than one thermometer?
Yes.
All right. So we're going to go with Cy Young, MVP, Rookie of the Year. I'll kind of recap who my preseason picks were as well. So for me, Cy Young, I'm going to start off. I preseason predicted Jose Barrios to win the Cy Young in the AL. He's had a very good year. But there are just some guys that have just absolutely stolen the show away. So I'm looking at guys in the AL. I'm going to go with Charlie Morton, midseason award, Cy Young. This is the guy that is 35, a guy that a lot of people have looked over his career with the Astros, now absolutely being a dominant ace with the Tampa Bay Rays. And especially being a Rays pitcher is very difficult with the kind of different pace that they always throw out there. Their offense is spotty, so you have Charlie Morton go out there. He has a 2.35 ERA. He's had a fantastic year. He's really had to pick up the slack for Blake Snell this year, who has struggled mightily. So Charlie Morton is my AL Cy Young. I'm going to go in the NL. There's no debate here. You can't say anyone else besides Hyun-Jin Ryu, the Dodgers lefty. So this is a guy that has absolutely tore up everybody this year. 1.78 ERA. 116 innings pitched, 0.93 WHIP, 4.0 WAR. That's fantastic for a starting pitcher, especially a guy that is 32. Same kind of thing with Charlie Morton. A little younger in the league.
How old is Charlie Morton?
35.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, both these guys well into their 30s. 1.78 ERA for Hyun-Jin Ryu. He's finally been healthy for the first time in, I think, 2 years. So you got to give it to Hyun-Jin Ryu. He's absolutely the NL Cy Young.
Passing it over your guy Mike Soroka there.
I am. I will bring him up a little later, though. So
right.
Go ahead with your midseason Cy Young.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to say the same thing there with the NL. I mean, you can't beat this guy's stats. I mean, just looking at it, he's only given up 23 runs in the 12 games that he's played. So, there you go. I mean, right there. I mean, if you have a pitcher out there who's getting strikeouts, not giving up runs, I mean, he's already in the triple digits of strikeouts this season, putting up great stats. And here's another guy when it comes to strikeouts for the AL, and Justin Verlander. He has 160 strikeouts. He has a strong record, 11-4, 2.98 ERA, playing for one of the best teams in the American League in Houston. In all 20 of the games he's started in, he's only given up 44 runs. So, I mean, this is a guy who in Detroit, we as Royals fans all remember just what an absolute monster he was. And obviously now in Houston, he's still putting up great stats.
Think about this. The Detroit Tigers at one point had Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer both in their rotation.
Yeah. And now they're probably the two most recognizable pitchers in the league.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, for MVP, I'm going with Mike Trout. That's really
automatic. That's mine too, by the way, people. It's an automatic.
I mean, it's just as Mike Trout. You look at the AL, and that's also one big thing is I think the AL, in the NL, you have about 4 or 5 guys that have absolutely blown you away this year. Mike Trout seems to be the only one in the AL this season. You have a lot of juggernaut teams. We've discussed this before. AL's for the juggernauts, NL's for the depth. So you have Mike Trout in the AL. He's the only one that's really stood out to me so far. You have guys like Gary Sanchez. He's hit home runs, but he's only batting .240. I don't like his defense. Mike Trout's doing it all in center field for the Angels, and they're having a good season. I mean, let me look at their record real quick. They are 48-46, which compared to the last 2 seasons is spectacular for the Anaheim Angels. So
doesn't sound great, but if you know the Angels have passed, it's really great.
Exactly. Now they're 11 games.
The Royals destroyed them in the playoffs.
They absolutely did.
In 2014.
Exactly. They're 11 games back at first place, so they're definitely not going to win that crown. But they could sneak a wild card. You get it for a month. Next thing you know, you're in the wild card race. So who knows about the Angels? But that's Mike Trout for me. And then I have Josh Bell. Now Josh Bell doesn't actually have the best stats of all of these guys that I'm listing off of, but he has the most RBIs, which I think is the most beneficial stat to a hitter. Get guys over and getting guys in. He has 84 already on this season. He has 27 home runs, 104 hits. This is a guy that has absolutely come out of his shell, a guy that we expected this of him 2-3 years ago. Not 3, he wasn't in the league. It's about 1 to 2 years ago. Big guy, has tremendous power from the left side, and he's finally starting to come out of his shell, batting almost 300. But the reason he's my MVP is actually what the definition of MVP is, which usually doesn't apply in baseball. I think he's the most valuable player to his team, because you take Josh Bell out of the Pittsburgh Pirates lineup, what do they have left? Starlin Marte is batting third for them.
They're below 500 team too. So I mean, just imagine. Yeah.
He's the only reason they're keeping their heads above water right now, and him in that starting rotation, which is electric. So what are you going to do if you're taking Josh Bell out?
Pretty tough division also. I mean, the Reds aren't that bad, and they're like they're like 10 games back.
Right. So those are my 2 MVPs.
For me, I also have Mike Trout as the AL MVP. I mean, I feel like it's a pretty safe bet. I mean, even if you don't know much about baseball, you're like, oh, Mike Trout's the guy that wins MVP all the time, right? Yeah, because he's that good. For the NL, I'm actually going to go with Cody Bellinger, because I feel like what we saw from this guy as a rookie was just something else. And now he's just improving his game even more. I mean, you look at it, his batting average is right now outstanding, 334 batting average. He has 73 RBIs. And of those 73 RBIs, he also has 72 runs. the Dodgers team is pretty good. I mean, so when you look at that, you're like, oh, he plays on a pretty good team also if he's going to score 72 times as well. And he has 31 home runs on this season, 110 hits. I mean, this is a guy on probably the best team in baseball right now, and I think he's a significant piece of that. I also love his defense. I mean, you don't really recognize defense from a first baseman unless they're really good. And I think this is one of the better ones as a first baseman.
Well, he's a right fielder now.
And outfielder. Yeah, he plays in both. Yeah. He plays in both.
They've moved. It seems to be official now. Max Muncy's the first. He's the right field, but he has been a good glove there at first base. Now the reason I didn't pick Cody Bellinger, Christian Yelich, I wouldn't have picked because he just got injured. So I'm not 100% sure how that's going to work out. But
if he was 100% healthy, though, I mean, that would be a pretty Right.
I mean, that
would be a good pick.
There's no wrong answer there. But I didn't pick Cody Bellinger because he does, like you were saying, they're the best team in baseball, the most talented team in baseball. He has tons of protection in that lineup. I mean, who are you going to pitch to? You're gonna walk him to get to Max Muncy? Oh, you're gonna walk him to get to Manny Machado, Corey Seager, or not Manny Machado. You're gonna go Corey Seager, Justin Turner now. You're going to Jock Peterson. Who are you walking to get to Cody Bellinger? Like he has so much protection in that lineup. So that was one of the factors that got to me to Josh Bell.
That's good. That's a good point.
I mean,
but still, you look at his stats and it's hard to beat.
I mean, the second biggest threat on the Pirates is Starling Marte. I can live with walking Josh. I can live with Josh Bell on the base pass.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And then finally, our mid-season rookie of the years, AL and NL rookie of the year, mid-season awards rookie of the years. I'm gonna go with Brandon Lowe in the AL. These kind of seem like easy 1 and 2 as well. Brandon Lowe, guy with 307 at bats. 49 RBI, 16 home runs. He's hitting 276, 339 on base percentage. OPS 862, which is pretty good for a rookie. Which is really good for a rookie, rather. He
kind of plays a little bit of everywhere too on defense, which I really like.
Yeah. He's a versatile guy. He's a very good second baseman. The Tampa Bay Rays have him and Austin Meadows, 2 rookies that have absolutely killed it this year. So I'm going with Brandon Lowe there. And in the NL, it's also very, very easy. Pete Alonso. This not only is this guy the rookie of the year, you can make a case for NL MVP right now. Wow. The 92 hits, 30 home runs, 69 RBIs, just won the home run derby. He has 99 strikeouts, which is quite a bit, but it's still I'm not exactly worried about it. Yes, he has 39 walks. I mean, Josh Bell is 43. That tells you this guy's eye, and this guy also no protection in that lineup. They're letting him walk. They're letting him take his base. So Peter Alonso, easy NL MVP or NL Rookie of the Year rather.
Yeah, I have the exact same, and I look at his OPS at 987 right there for a rookie, which is just outstanding. I mean, both of these guys I think are pretty obvious right now of who the guys. I mean, for Brandon Lowe, I loved you said it best, his versatility. He can kind of play a little bit everywhere. He's quick. He can get a single when he needs. He can hit a home run when he has to. He can kind of do a little bit of everything. And then Pete Alonso is just a powerhouse in a weak lineup. So it's pretty fun to watch these two guys, and I think we're going to see good numbers from them as their career progresses. I mean, hoping without injury and everything. I'm excited to watch these two play in the future.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go with the awards that we are predicting for the entire season. So we've given you the midway awards, first half awards. So now we're going to tell you who's going to win the entire thing when it's all said and done. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to start with MVPs. Not really changing a whole lot, actually going exactly what Austin had in the first half. I'm going with Cody Bellinger in the NL because I think he's gonna sustain this. He's going to keep it up. He has that protection. I don't see any reason why he won't do so. But then also the factor of they're going to end up being the best team in baseball record-wise. People are going to look at that, and they're going to give him the nod over guys like Christian Yelich, Josh Bell, Ronald Acuna, Peter Alonso. So Cody Bellinger, I think, is going to get the final nod due to the just raw talent that the Dodgers have displayed this season. And then in the AL, I'm going with Mike Trout. Unless someone comes out and just absolutely wows us like Mookie Betts last season, it's going to take a Herculean effort in order to win an AL MVP over this guy. He's the best known player in baseball. He's the best player in baseball. It's tough to beat him, especially with the fact that I can't name one other even close candidate to AL MVP this year besides Mike Trout.
For me, yeah, I'm gonna agree with you 100%. Cody Bellinger is playing on one of the best teams, if not the best team in baseball right now. He's gonna still continue to put up good stats. And Mike Trout, I mean, you can try to like avoid him and do your best, but you're not going to because he's that good. He's so fast. He's so smart. He's a great outfielder. And he's probably he's the best player in the world. So, I mean, he's got to be the AL MVP again. Was that number 4 for him now?
That'd be 3.
Number 3 for him.
His
okay.
Third. Now, he's probably going to end up on a team that's most likely going to be 81-81. They're probably not going to be anything more or less than 500 this season. But I think he's still going to win it because that's just how spectacular he is. And it just seems like a Mike Trout award right now. AL MVP just seems like a Mike Trout award. So I think Mike Trout and Cody Bellinger would both agree on that. So
is that a problem? Is that a problem that it's just assumed that it'll be Mike Trout, like for the MLB? Like, because
I don't see it as such because I mean you have plenty of time to win that award. You have 162 times to be exact to win that award. You just got to play better than Mike Trout. I mean, Mookie Betts won it last season, so you just there's always guys that are going to do it. Mookie Betts is not having nearly the year Mike Trout is. And, I mean, I don't really think that it's that big of a problem. So we're going to go to Cy Youngs. For me, I really like Jose Barrios in the AL is a guy that I predicted before the season started. The Minnesota Twins ace. He's got a 3.1 ERA this season. This is a guy that is going into his 3rd season in the Minnesota Twins organization, and he is an absolute beast. When you put him out there, says go win us a game. This guy has tremendous velocity. He has great control, and he's finally starting to put it all together in his 3rd year for the Minnesota Twins. So I'm going with Jose Barrios, and then I'm going with Mike Soroka. NL Cy Young. That's right. I said it. Mike Soroka, NL Cy Young. The one thing that will keep him from winning that is his innings limitation. Last year, he had a very horrendous shoulder injury.
He has 96 innings this season.
Right. So he is officially in. It took him a while because you have to have 1 inning pitch for every single game your team has played. So he's officially in the qualifiers for innings pitched in the MLB. So now he's 2nd in the NL in earned run average. I think he has a 2.23 ERA. Yesterday, he pitched 7 shutout innings against the San Diego Padres. Now, if he does not win it, it will be because of inning limitation. This is a guy that not only should he be considered for NL Rookie of the Year, he should be considered for NL Cy Young. So I think he's going to win both of those awards.
Ooh.
Mike Soroka, NL Cy Young.
No Braves bias whatsoever.
You know what? I am 100% biased. This is my favorite player on the Braves. I love the way this guy plays. Wow. He's 22 years old. He's Canadian. He throws the hardest sinking sinker since Tim Hudson, former Braves Hall of Famer. And he has a devastating outside changeup and a slider that complements his sinker perfectly. I love Mike Soroka. I think he's winning both of the awards. If he doesn't, it'll be because of the innings limitation. They might just shut him down. We don't know. This is something that's been speculated a lot in the Braves organization. So if that does happen, I have to go with Max Scherzer as a backup because, I mean, innings limitation is something that he can't control. So I think if he is 100% put out there for the rest of the season, I think Mike Soroka wins it. But Max Scherzer is always a safe bet in case they do.
All right, so for my Cy Youngs, honestly, for the AL, I really it's hard, but I really want to choose Aroldis Chapman for the New York Yankees. It's hard because he's not a starter. That's what makes it difficult. But I mean, everyone knows this is the best bullpen pitcher on the planet. I mean, he comes in the game and the Yankees are winning. They're gonna win. He has 25 saves on the season, 51 strikeouts. I mean, he's just so talented. I want to put him there, but I think I'll probably still lean with Justin Verlander on the AL Cy Young. What, you don't agree?
Well, then I want to hold the phone on that statement you said. He's the best bullpen arm in the world. Not even close.
I don't know, man. I think he might be.
Not even top 5.
I don't know.
No. Okay, now he might be the most well known. He's the Cuban Missile. This is the guy that everyone loves. He throws 100. He has the hardest left-handed throwing arm we've ever seen in baseball. Yeah. But I'm not putting him over guys like Brad Hand right now. I'm not putting him over Josh Hader. I'm not putting him over any of those guys. I'm not doing it. This is a guy that has shown that he loves his fastball too much, and it basically flies itself out of the park. You just got to put the bat on the ball, and it flies itself.
But they can't put the bat on the ball. No one's putting the bat on the ball against this guy.
I mean, you're not wrong about that this year, but But the thing is, though, this is not sustained, though. This is kind of an outlier year. He has had rough goes at it. So this is not exactly Aroldis Chapman that we're used to.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's pretty darn. But I'll still stick with Justin Verlander. I mean, I think he's probably playing on the best team in the American League. And the guy's putting up good numbers. He has a good win-loss record, good ERAs we've talked about already. And then in the NL, you make a really good point for your dude. I think it's just hard to go against Max Scherzer, though. I mean, he's one of the most proven guys in the league. We talked to. I mean, that's so funny. You bring up Detroit again, so that Verlander and him were both there. I mean, this guy has an incredible inning. I mean, 129 innings pitched, 29 in the third, actually, 129 in the third. He has 181 Ks and 2.3 ERA. And I think really that's just going to continue. I mean, he's just one of the best there is to. And I think it would be cool to see your guy do it. But I think Max Scherzer is probably the favorite I would lean towards.
Okay, I got 2 questions for you. One, would this be the first time a guy would win the Cy Young and the Rookie of the Year in the same year? I want to figure that out. I don't know. But I feel like it would be.
Wow.
Number 2, do you believe that a reliever should be contended for an award for AL or NL Cy Young?
I think if they're good enough, yeah. You don't?
No, not at all. You're talking about a guy that gets thrown out there for 3 outs every 1 to 2 times a week, instead of a guy who's going out there who's expected to give you 7 innings every single time. Say, if you give up more than 3 runs, you suck. Like there's no other way about it. If I'm putting out Mike Soroka there on the mound, I'm expecting 6, 7 innings, 1 to 2 runs every single time. I'm putting out my closer. I don't know what's going to happen. Unless Royals bullpen of 2015, you have no clue what's going to happen out there. And especially guys that have more than about 1 or 2 ERA. It's just it's tough. I think they deserve their own category. They have the Mariano Rivera Award for a reason. They get their own closer of the year. Just leave the bullpen arms alone. The starters are the Cy Youngs. You just can't overlook the innings pitched.
There's been one guy who has won the NL Rookie of the Year and Cy Young Award. His name is Fernando Valenzuela.
Wow, I've never heard of him.
Yep, he's the only Major League Baseball player to win both in the same year.
All right, so we found a very fun fact for you guys. There you go. Okay, so you got both of your Cy Youngs. Did you get AL? Okay. All right, so let me also say
he played for the Dodgers and the Padres.
Okay. Yeah. So I also want to say that I have to admit I have money on Jose Barros and Mike Soroka in Vegas to win Cy Young.
Oh wow!
Both of them. I put money on both of them.
I recommend for the people to do that.
I would. The odds are probably going to be much lower Let me find my ticket if I can get that. If I find my ticket, I'll tell you exactly what the odds were. They were spectacular because I would not have put it on there if I didn't believe it. So I put, here's Mike Soroka's ticket. He was plus 3,000, which is bet $100, win 3,000 of it. I put $10 on it. I win 310 right there. And then I put Jose Barrios. He was plus 1,000, a little lower for me, but I win $110 if I win that bet. So if the odds are still there, absolutely. But I just don't think that Soroka is still going to have a plus 3,000. So I don't think it's going to be like that at all. All right, moving on to AL and NL Rookie of the Year. I got to concede. AL, I think the second half is going to be all about Vladimir Guerrero Jr. The fact of the matter is he is a star in today's MLB. I think a lot of people are going to vote for him just for that reason. But let me say this. He had no business even being mentioned with Brandon Lowe in the first half of the season. Brandon Lowe was by far and away much better than Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was.
But he didn't play as long, though.
He didn't play, but it wasn't that much of a discrepancy. Brandon Lowe is just a better player than Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is right now. But I do see Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He got that home run derby. Everyone sees him. Everyone knows exactly what he's made of now. I think he'll start to finally hit. It's not that he's even had a bad first half at all, but I think he's going to finally turn it on. I think he'll run away with it in the AL. Also, not a whole lot of contenders outside of Brandon Lowe in the AL for Rookie of the Year. And then NL, like I said, Mike Soroka. I think he's going to – I think when you come down to Mike Soroka and Pete Alonso, obviously are the 1 and 2 for this award. I truly believe that Mike Soroka is going to be at least in contention for NL Cy Young. And Pete Alonso is probably going to fall off a little bit and not be in the MVP discussion. So then you're going to have that internal debate. It's going to be, well, how are we going to put Pete Alonso over Mike Soroka? Mike Soroka is about to win the Cy Young, or he's at least considered with Max Scherzer, Jacob deGrom. How are we going to do this? So that's going to be a very interesting debate. I 100% see Mike Soroka being there in the end, so I'm going with Soroka for NL Rookie of the Year and Cy Young.
So I'll stick with Pete Alonso for the NL Rookie of the Year. I mean, this guy's just a beast. I think it's similar to Guerrero. We saw him in the home run derby. He's just putting up just unreal stats as a hitter. For a rookie, especially that OPS still really gets me, is really popping off the stat page. There is just like, hold on, this guy's how old? It's truly pretty incredible what he's been doing with the Mets. And then this was my guy at the beginning of our show here in the preseason of Rookie of the Year. I mean, I called it. I like to say I told you because I did. And
he wasn't in the majors yet.
But I knew how good he would be. Because I'm an MLB insider, you know.
Right. Hey, if his name wasn't Vladimir Guerrero Jr., would you have known of this guy?
I don't know. Well, of course I would have. How would I not? Right. I mean, I basically live in Toronto. I'm such a diehard fan.
Yeah.
You know, and I think this kid really the home run derby especially really showed a lot from a voter's standpoint, and I think the crowd in Toronto could really get behind him, which could maybe help him on the field. So I think you're right. I think he could win Rookie of the Year.
All right, the awards have been given out. Thanks everyone.
Congratulations! You earned that.
Congratulations, guys. I know. This is gonna be the number one trophy, the one high up on the trophy.
Oh, no doubt.
They're gonna have to share it somehow. We're only giving out one of these, so it's gonna go to Mike Soroka.
Right.
He hasn't actually won anything quite yet because he didn't win a midseason award. I'm just gonna give it to him anyways because I love Mike Soroka. So there you go. Deserving.
Closest in proximity too. So I mean,
very, very true. Okay. We're going to give you our playoff scenarios, then we're going to move on to top 5 toughest pitches to hit, and then top 5 combo foods. It's going to get very interesting here. Okay, so for me, I'm going to go in the NL number 1, the Los Angeles Dodgers. There's no other reason not to pick them. Everything about them just screams consistency. You have guys like Walker Buehler having a fantastic year. Ross Stripling not kind of bouncing back and forth between the rotation and the pen. Clayton Kershaw doing his thing, and then the lineup is absolutely murderer's row. So I'm going with Dodgers number 1. Number 2, I'm going with the Atlanta Braves. They're actually much better than I anticipated this season because we finally have that one guy that, you know, how I talk about all the time. Give me a game and go win me a game. Give me a pitcher that can go win me a game in a playoff series, day one starter. I feel like Soroka is the guy now. You have Dallas Keuchel, who also could be the guy. You have 2 of those guys who have absolutely been killing it lately. So that's the one problem that the Braves have fixed. The bullpen has been absolutely lights out lately. I don't expect that to keep up. So I don't think they're going to make it too far in the playoffs. But I think this is a great, great, talented lineup. I think this is the best lineup in baseball. Watching these guys every single day, there's not a single easy out. The worst hitter on this team is Brian McCann, and he's one of the best hitting catchers in baseball. So Braves are number 2. Number 3, I have the Milwaukee Brewers. I just really see them hitting a really hot spot in the month of August, September, something of that sort. I just don't see this 500 ball continuing. I think their lineup's going to turn around a little bit outside of Christian Yelich. You're going to have Travis Shaw turn around. You're going to have Jesus Aguilar have a better year. So I don't expect those guys to keep hitting the way they are. Plus, I see the rotation doing a little better than it is right now, and that bullpen obviously is lights out. So we're going Milwaukee at number 3. Number 4, I have the Cubs. This team concerns me. This is a very hot and cold team. This can be the hottest team in baseball at times. And this can be a borderline bottom 5 team in the entire major leagues at times as well. Their defense has been spotty. It's been much better as of late. I don't know whether I can trust them. I don't know if I can trust Chris Bryant. I know I can trust Javi Baez. Kyle Kendricks, I don't know if I can trust him. He is a guy that I can throw an 8-inning shutout, and he's a guy that could also just go out there and lay an egg for you. So I don't know what to say about the Cubs, but the record speaks for themselves. I see them at number 4. Number 5, I have the Philadelphia Phillies. Just too much talent on this team for them to miss the playoffs. If they miss the playoffs, Gabe Kapler's gone. Their manager is
so they're kind of battling with the Nationals right now for that.
They're battling with the Nationals for second place in the NL. They're both, I think, or the Phillies, I think, are 7 games back from first place from the Braves.
And Phillies are 8.5. Nationals are 7.
There you go. Yeah, 8.5 and 7. So the Braves are definitely pulling away with that division right now. So they're kind of battling for second place. Unless the Braves hit a cold spot and the other 2 teams catch fire, Braves are more likely going to win the East. But I just see that there's too much talent on this team for them to miss the playoffs. I can't fathom it. So I'm going with the Phillies at number 5.
I have the exact same list in the exact same order. And I know that really doesn't spark much debate, but the Dodgers are just such a powerhouse lineup. Same with the Braves, but they're younger. And the Brewers, I feel like, are going to catch fire. They play just such good defense. I think their pitchers will step it up. And when Christian Yelich comes back 100% healthy, he helps guys like Moose and Locane, who have been playing well all year. And then you have the Cubs, who are 100% to a T, hot and cold. But I think they seem to finish strong every year. And you're right, they don't have the best defense, but their lineup is just too talented to lose too many games to fall out of that division. And then when it comes to the Nationals and the Phillies, it's almost a coin flip, but you look at the rosters, the Phillies just have more talent. They just have more talent than the Nationals do. And so I completely agree with your list to a T, exact same order. We differ in the AL, but in the NL, it's so deep, but those 5 teams stand out to me.
Something I've been seeing a little bit going around the internet from, and I know it's the most reliable source in the world, for the Cubs is that if they miss the playoffs, Joe Madden might be out of town.
What?
So that's pretty interesting for the Chicago Cubs. So I don't believe it. I don't think it's going to happen. But either way, very interesting that we have the exact same 5. I don't see it playing any other way, honestly. That's just how it is. So For me, real quick, I'm going to go with the AL. I'm going with the Twins. I really think they're going to finish with the most wins. They've been the hottest team in the first half. They finally start. Everyone's healthy, and they're finally starting to put everything together. Twins at 1. Yankees at number 2. I think the injuries are finally going to start. They're starting to recover from the injuries, rather. In the second half, you're going to start getting guys back that are going to be completely healthy. So I'm going with the Yankees at 2. Astros at 3. Now, the Twins, Yankees, Astros, I think 1 to 2 games is going to be what separates these three.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's pretty much what's separating them right now.
By no means am I putting the Astros at number 3, saying that they're going to win, 90, only just 90, 86 games. So I have the Astros number
separated 3. By a half game right now.
That's absolutely insane. I fully expect that to continue. I have the Astros at number 3 because I think they're the most well-rounded team in the entire league. I've said it all year. I think they're going to win the World Series. I put money on it, and I actually did. In Vegas and the Brewers, I put money on both of them. But I think the Astros are going to win the World Series well-rounded. Number 4, I have the Tampa Bay Rays. I think Blake Snell's going to turn around the second half, adding to an all-terrific rotation and terrific bullpen. The offense has got to do something for me. I mean, Brandon Lowe and Austin Meadows cannot be your 2 best hitters. Tommy Pham's had a good year as always, but you got to step it up. You need more hitters around there. So I have the Rays number 4. I think their bullpen will carry them there. Number 5, I have the Red Sox. Once again, too talented to fail. Chris Sale's going to get them there. Mookie Betts, JD Martinez, Rafael Devers is second in the AL and batting average. I just don't see this team missing the playoffs. I see them squeaking in at number 5.
So I'm going to go ahead and shake up those top 3 teams and go with the Astros first. I think their pitching is a little bit better than those other 2 teams, which I think is kind of a difference maker. And I think Jose Altuve is still one of the best players in the world. He wasn't in the All-Star game, but I mean, everyone knows just how much of a beast he is.
Yeah.
2, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Twins at 2. Out of these 3 teams, they play in the weakest division. They're going to have a stronger record than maybe, I think they'll have a stronger record than the Yankees, who I have at 3. And the reason I have the Yankees at 3 is because they play in the toughest division out of these top 3 teams. So I think because especially if the Rays come alive, like you said, the Red Sox come alive, like you said, that's a little tougher than what we're seeing the Twins play the White Sox every other day,
Exactly.
So, I mean, that's just math and when it comes to records. And then 4, I have the Red Sox rather than the Rays. I think guys like Mookie Betts, we could see step up. Chris Sale, I think we could obviously see step up. And I just think they're just so talented and playing games against the Yankees more and more when it gets down to crunch time. That's when those 2 fan bases really get after it. And they could feed off of that a little bit. And then number 5, I actually have the Oakland A's. They're actually about 12 games above 500 right now. No one really knows that.
Just like last year.
No one really knows that about the A's. They have kind of an underrated lineup, but there's some good hitters in there. Same with their bullpen. So I think the A's could actually make it where as the Rays and the Red Sox and the Yankees could be kind of bruising each other up, it'll just be the Astros and the A's just sitting in the AL West. And so I think the A's could squeak in there at number 5 rather than the Rays.
Okay, so, I mean, the AL is definitely going to be the toughest one to predict. So I can't disagree with any of that. So moving on, last topic we're going to talk about, then we're going to top 5. So a new rule enacted in the Atlantic League. It's a minor league like the American League and the National League that and the minors is kind of the same thing with the Atlantic. So in the Atlantic League, new rule that if at any point during an at-bat there's a wild pitch, the ball gets away from the catcher, if it's a 0-0 count, first pitch, and you throw a slider and it goes into the dugout or it goes anywhere, and the catcher does not catch the ball or he drops it, you have the opportunity to run the first base and steal first base.
Wow.
Yeah, that's in just the other day, a guy stole first base for the very first time in history. So what do you think of that rule? And is that something that you think should be adapted into the major league?
Oh, my. I don't think so, because I think sometimes when there's no one on base, especially pitchers they're maybe a little more careless. They're trying to find the zone a little bit more because they don't have anyone on base to worry about. So throwing a wild pitch, I don't know. I think it would it make the game more entertaining? Because
I'm waiting.
I think it would make the game more entertaining, but boy, I don't know. I think there would be a lot of pitchers that would be very unfavorable towards it.
Okay, so Austin, this is exactly what we needed to help the action and the pace of play in baseball. So here's what would happen. You have no wiggle room whatsoever. It's as if you're pitching with somebody on base at all times. There is tension at all times with this pitcher trying to get this guy to groove strikes. The more strikes that you throw, you're going to throw more strikes now, because you're not going to have nearly as much wiggle room trying to get the ball, trying to get a slider that maybe drifts a little too far offside the plate. Next thing you know, he's on first base. You're going to have to keep that closer to the zone. Everything's going to be a little tighter. Everything's going to be a little more inside, a little more outside, east to west. You're not going to see guys working as much north to south as you are today. So you're going to see more east and west movement, which is much better for the game. More strikes are going to be thrown. So you're going to have a lot more action going on in the MLB. Balls are going to get put in play more often. You're going to have guys that are going to strike out much less. You're going to have defensive plays that you haven't been seeing in the past.
So you think the MLB will adopt this?
I don't think they will. I think that they should. I think this is exactly, you asked me last show, what is the solution to this pace of play problem? The home runs, the strikeouts, the guys walking back to the dugout, the breaks in play. This is one of the solutions. I think that this is exactly what the MLB is looking for. Guys to just put the ball in play, just throw strikes, just produce action. I'm not saying that you guys have to, that it's gonna change the entire game, but it's gonna help. It's gonna truly help the action.
I think another thing that could make it intriguing is those 8-9 hitters who may not be power home run guys, but they're fast. That could make it intriguing to say, you better throw me a pitch down the middle, or else I'm gone.
Right. If you let a changeup get away from you this much, of Billy Hamilton, he is $10 million more valuable than he is right now.
Yeah.
So I love this rule. I think they should absolutely adopt it, and I think it would also show that that baseball in the MLB isn't just the old man grumpy, yelling at a cloud, yelling at people to get off his lawn. It's not just that. They're willing to adapt like the NFL and the NBA. They're as willing to adapt as both of those leagues, and they're willing to show it by producing a brand new rule that's going to bring back the stolen. I want to say stolen. I don't know if you want to call it stolen base. The stolen base. So I absolutely love this. It will never pass.
Why don't you think so?
Because the MLB doesn't adapt. It does. I mean, now Rob Manfred has done a terrific job lately of adapting, but the thing is, he hasn't really messed with the integrity of the game. He's just messed with lack of downtime. He's messed with pitch clocks, just that sort of thing. He hasn't really done anything drastic to change the game. Mound visits, there's a limitation to those now. This is a drastic change to the game. This will change your approach to the plate completely. So I don't think it'll ever be adapted. I think it should, though. So you think it should?
I think it would be fun.
You think it'd be fun? That's a yes for me. Okay. Moving on to top fives. We're going to do top 5 toughest pitches to hit in baseball. I'll go real quick. Number 5, a disappearing splitter. It's a rare pitch nowadays. You see that in a forkball, or kind of sort of the same sort of grips. But it is absolutely devastating when you just see it come in and it just drops. There's the only pitch that can really do that, have that sort of action. So number 5. Number 4, a changeup low and away. It has the appearance of a fastball in the outside corner. You think you can push it. Next thing you know, you go to swing at it, and it's in the dirt. So changeup low and away.
South Chris's favorite pitch.
Exactly. Number 3, high heat. And the thing is, though, you have to have a very good fastball in order to pull this pitch off, or else you're serving up home run derby balls. Yeah. So high heat is a very very hot and cold pitch, ironically enough. So you have to have a good fastball to get it up there. Number 2 is my favorite pitch in the game. I love the two-seam fastball into lefties from a right-handed pitcher or lefties into a right-handed hitter. So this is something Edison Volquez, 2014, 2015 Edison Volquez, he perfected this pitch. I absolutely loved it. You throw the pitch, the hitter's like, oh, it's going to hit me. It's going to hit me. And then just curves right in at the very last second, that late life that you have into it. That's a strike every time, every time. I absolutely love it. It's the most devastating pitch to a left-handed hitter from a right-handed pitcher and vice versa as well. So I love the two-seam right there on the hands. And number one, it's kind of not even up for debate as well. It's also number 1 as well. The backdoor slider. It's called a Hall of Fame pitch for a reason. It's the most, if it's perfected, it's unhittable. There's not a single person in the world that can hit a backdoor slider. Even if they know it's coming, they still won't be able to hit it.
Explain the movement to those who don't understand it.
So what a backdoor slider, what you want it to start at is you want it to start, imagine a right-handed pitcher, right-handed hitter. You want it to start at the bottom. I guess if you're looking from the catcher's view, you want it to start at the bottom left corner, and you want to sweep, and you want to slide into the bottom right corner. You want it to just go across the entire zone so that batter can see that ball the entire length of the zone. He can see it go through the zone, and he thinks it's hittable. You go for it, and next thing you know, it's on the other side of the plate. You cannot hit it. You cannot hit it. It's unhittable. If it's perfected, you can combine Mike Trout, Ted Williams, Ichiro Suzuki, Ken Griffey Jr., all into one baseball player, and they're not hitting that pitch, Austin. It's unhittable if it's perfected. Hanging slider, easiest pitch to hit in the majors. So I'm going backdoor slider, number 1.
So, yeah, I'll start from 5 down, and I have the changeup low and away. That's Salvi's favorite pitch. He thinks it's right there, and then it's just not. And you're reaching all the way out. Number 4, I have a cutter in on the hands. So you think it looks just like a fastball, and then next thing you know, it just comes right. So you're expecting to be right across the middle, and then next thing you know, it's just barely missing hitting you, and so you're swinging every time.
It's the exact opposite of my two-seam on the hand. It goes the opposite direction.
It goes the opposite way.
You think it's down the middle, and then it's on your hands. Two-seam, you think it's going to hit you, and it's down the middle.
Yeah, exactly. Number 3, I have the knuckleball. It's such a weird. It's such a long pitch. It flies through the air, just so weird. I personally just like pitchers throwing it because I think it's just so different how it just floats in the air and then it just goes in crazy directions. I mean, it's just. I don't know how people can get a baseball to move the way that a knuckleball is thrown. It's truly unreal. And then 2, I have high heat, like you talked about. If you can perfect it, it's tough, but it's a risk. It's a risk. If you don't get it right, it's a home run. Yeah. So you got to get it right. And then number 1, it's unhittable. So there you go. The backdoor slider. It's unhittable.
Yep. Okay, moving on. Top 5 combo foods. Twitter poll question today, and then fact or fiction. So, top 5 combo foods. Austin, you go first.
All right. So these are things that are just really just all around great together. Just staples truly in this country. 5, I have chicken and waffles. So a lot of it is just, it's the sweet and the savory together. And you're starting to see that a lot of restaurants now. But it's just the classic fried chicken breast, like 2 waffles, butter and syrup on it. It's just a classic combo together. Number 4, this is something that's pretty common around this area. I don't know how common it is down there. But a bowl of chili with a cinnamon roll. It's similar to the chicken and waffles and how it's savory and then sweet, but it's like the chili's got a little bit of heat to it, and then the cinnamon roll is just really sweet and warm. And wow, why are we talking about food today, bro? My gosh, this is brutal stuff. Number 3, PB&J. I mean, it's got to be one of the most iconic combinations ever created, ever. Number 2, chicken fried steak, mashed potatoes, and gravy. together is a must. I've never seen someone have a chicken fried steak without the mashed potatoes and gravy. They've got to be together. The gravy's got to be on both. I don't think you can truly have one without the other.
I have a hot take for you after this.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's your hot take?
No, you go. I'll get to it on my list. You go.
Okay. Number one, burger and fries. It's the staple for this country. That's what everyone thinks. Oh, you're America. Do you have a cheeseburger and French fries? Well, absolutely. I mean, you can get that literally anywhere you go in this country. They're together. They have to be together. Just wow, these are all just so great. I'll give for any of these right now.
With my top 5, I went more for personal favorites as well as kind of popular.
Okay, that's good. That's burger and fries is my favorite too. That's my number 1. And number 2, my top 2 were my personal favorites.
Yeah,
I think both of them have to be together. They have to be a combo together.
Right, that's true. That's true. Number 5, I put it number 5. This is probably one of my personal favorites, but I don't know if it's considered a combo that much. Mac and cheese. There's so many different types of mac and cheese. I don't know if you consider cheese its own food and then combining it with macaroni. I don't know. I don't know the parameters of this, so I just put it
that's an interesting one.
So I put it number 5 because I don't want to ruffle any feathers today. Number 4, I have PB&J, just like you said. It's the most. It's actually a fun fact. It's the most popular death row meal of all time. A lot of people just it's something that your mom makes for you. It's for some reason it tastes better. Just PB&J. I mean, there's nothing better. Number three, I have burgers and fries as well. You can get it anywhere. It's the most accessible of any. I mean, name all of the fast food restaurants. How many of those are burgers and fries? I mean, out of the top 10, probably more than half of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Number 2, I have chips and salsa. I can't believe it wasn't on your top 5.
That's a good one.
This is something, but okay, I will give you the benefit of the doubt because chips and salsa, also chips and queso.
I'm a big queso guy. Big queso guy.
I love queso too, but salsa, God, salsa's so good. I mean,
that is honestly my brother's favorite food is chips and salsa. It's something he could eat endlessly forever and be happy.
I could as well. We're in the same boat with that. We love it. And then number 1, this is my favorite, and also comes with a little bit of hot take. It is corn and mashed potatoes, but it's not separately. You combine them and you mix them up, put some salt on it. It's the greatest meal of humankind.
Wow.
I absolutely love it. I will eat it 100% of the time I can get it. I
mean, it's good. It's good.
It's fantastic. It's the absolute best combination. I cannot have mashed potatoes or corn without combining them. They have to be right on top of each other. And I actually prefer mashed potatoes without gravy.
Wow, that's a hot take.
I don't like gravy. I think it.
Why?
I think first of all, it's just the consistency is just thick. I think it's unnecessary. I think mashed potatoes by itself already has a good enough flavor to not have to put gravy on it. And gravy might be one of the worst things that the humans have ever made in terms of health issues. Gravy,
so true.
Gravy is literally just pumping just clots into your arteries straight into it. So that's why I don't put gravy on there.
That's fair.
I mean, there's a lot of reasons I don't put gravy.
Mashed potatoes. That's
the mashed potatoes.
I respect it. I mean, it's good. It's good.
It's not orthodox. It's something that my taste buds. It's just my thing. It's my favorite thing.
It's pretty good.
I understand that it's not really considered with chips and salsa and burgers and fries like that. But when I get that, I'm happy. I'm absolutely happy. So, wow. Okay, Twitter poll question of the day. We're getting to the back half of the show. Should there be an option to steal first base? We want to hear from you guys. We'll go. Hold on. I'm not even prepared. I got to go to our last Twitter poll and give you guys the results of that one. So our last poll was, has the spike in home runs taken away a lot of the action in the MLB? 7 votes. We didn't get very many this time. 71% of you said yes. 29% said no. So a good amount of you guys think that the home runs have made the game much slower, much harder to watch. So agreeing with pretty much both of us. Now, Should there be an option to steal first base? Should they adopt that rule that they have in the Atlantic League and the minor leagues to the MLB? All right. Fact or fiction? You know what it is. 15 of 30 on the year. Austin, I rolled an 0 for 3 last week. I don't anticipate to do the same. You're always one to bounce back, so I'm expecting a 2 or 3.
I've got to redeem myself here.
Yeah, but hey, you're still in good. You're still in good spot. I mean, 15 of 30. So
I need it.
Number one, are you ready?
Last week, and I said I was. So,
all right. Number one, there's an underground fight club in the Czech Republic that makes more money than PBC boxing per year, or that Finland and North Korea are separated by only one country.
Oh boy.
I
guess I don't know my geography as well as I should have. I should have studied up.
I guess technically both. I mean, both.
I'm gonna go with the boxing one is real. I think that's very believable.
0 for 1, Austin. 0 for 1. The country that separates Finland and North Korea is Russia.
Oh my God!
Separated by a few thousand miles. Unfortunately, Austin, 0 for 1. Got to get the next two. You got to get the next two, or else if you don't get the next two, you're officially in a slump.
Oh my gosh!
If you go 1 for 3, you're still in a slump.
The pressure is really on now.
Pressure is really on. And then you're gonna go into next month. You're gonna go into next Monday's show, pressured. You're gonna be nervous. You're gonna be on edge.
I don't like that.
Get these two. You need to get. I'm actually rooting for you.
I don't like that.
I usually root against you. I'm rooting for you right now. Okay. Number 2, there are fewer atoms on Earth than there are ways to shuffle a deck of cards, or that the U.S. Marine Corps specialized in making hammocks for the entire duration of the Vietnam War.
Oh man,
this is the heat.
These are really tough. I'm going to say the deck of cards one is too crazy to not be real. It's got to be real.
You're on the board. Good job.
You got it. Man. Wow.
You needed it. That's good.
It bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely true. See, the thing is, I tried to make one that was even crazier. I thought the U.S. Marine Corps one was crazier, but I mean, not in your head. I mean, that's still a good one. So good job on your part.
Fewer atoms than deck of cards. Good grief. Makes sense though when you really think about it.
Yeah. All right. Number 3, and this is between.
It's a big one.
Are you back on track or are you in a slump?
This is a big one.
Number 3, Head and Shoulders was originally used in science labs for removal of dangerous chemicals from the skin of scientists, or that a study showed that a bookstore smell of chocolate sold 6 times more romantic books. And I stumbled on a lot of those words there. So
words are hard.
Let me rephrase it.
Okay.
Head and Shoulders was originally used in science labs for removal of dangerous chemicals from the skin of the scientists, or that a study showed that a bookstore that smelled of chocolate sold 6 times more romantic books.
I'm going to say that the Head and Shoulders one is real. I feel like you messed with the stats and it's like 8 times more books or something. So I'm going to say that the Head and Shoulders one is real.
You're in a slump. No, it is not.
It's not, dude.
No, it's not. Oh, man. Tough stuff. I'm sorry. Nope. The bookstore one is 100% true. I'm sorry. I wanted you to do well. 1 for 3. I wanted
yourself a round of applause. You deserve it. You deserve it.
I brought the heat, but hey, I don't feel great about it though.
You've been bringing the heat. Cy Young potential right here.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
I would like to take this. I would like to thank
the Academy.
My cat. All right. Moving on. Our last segment. I'm sorry. You make me feel bad when you go 1 for 3 or 0 for 3.
It's been a tough 2 weeks.
So you have officially fallen under 500. You are 16 of 33 on
wow,
the year.
First time all year.
First time all year. I've been getting you the last 3 times. I'm sorry.
Well done. Well done.
Okay, last 2 segments, and we're going to have to end the show, unfortunately. Jordan's bet of the day. I got Seattle versus the Cincinnati Bengals week 1. Seattle's favored by 8.5 points. So all these football bets are going to be minus 110. Okay. 8.5 points. I don't care who you are. Is a lot of ground to cover. Go bet on Cincinnati. Now, I'm not saying Cincinnati is going to win, but I'm telling you a week 1 Cincinnati team is going to be a little more inspired with a Zach Taylor coach. It's just going to be tough to cover 8.5 points. They have to win by a touchdown and a field goal in order to really do anything. So you go bet on Cincinnati. I think Seattle wins, but with the spread, Cincinnati's taking this one.
In sports history, today was the we talked about no-hitters already on the show. Today was the first no-hitter in baseball thrown by a guy named George Bradley, who played for St. Louis at the time back in 1876.
Which, fun fact, was Perry Ellis' freshman year at KU.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, I remember that, and it was a good time. Good time.
Good time.
Yeah, first no-hitter thrown today.
Impressive. All right, that's going to be it.
Through no-hitter in fact or fiction again.
Brutal. Oh, man. Now, next Monday, if you go 1 for 3 again, I officially own you. That's the fact of it. That's the fact of it. You gotta bring it next time.
The pressure's really on. I'm already thinking about it. I'm already thinking too much about it.
You got it.
Actually, no, because I'll be in Atlanta.
Oh, next Monday. Excuse us. Wow, I forgot about that. Okay, so we're not gonna. What should we do?
I don't know, because we're gonna be together.
Wow, what are we gonna do? So Austin is flying in next Sunday, the 21st, I believe.
Yes.
Into Atlanta. We're going to have a great time. We're going to go watch the Braves and the Royals 2 times. They're going to have a 2-game series here in Atlanta. We're going to go watch those 2 games. Now, but Monday, though, what are we going to do for a show? Because we'll both be here, so I feel like we should do something.
I don't know.
But what?
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Okay, that is it for Meet Me Halfway. I'll say goodbye to people.
Goodbye, people.
Jordan Griffith, Austin McNorton. Thank you guys for watching. Meet Me Halfway. You guys have a great day.